Right now, JJ Kinahan, Chief Market Strategist at TD Ameritrade, and Alli McCartney, Managing Director at UBS Private Wealth Management. Alli, always love to hear from you what your wealthy and sophisticated investors are doing. How much interest is there right now in Bitcoin, and what are you telling them to do about allocation?
There's a lot of interest, and there has been a lot of interest for a significant amount of time. Remember that a lot of very wealthy individuals, even those that have made their money in very traditional finance sources, take risk, and they understand the concept of taking risk. Now, the weird thing about this is you're talking about sort of a means of exchange, a currency, which exactly opposite of a normal currency, doesn't have the ability to pay your taxes and has, at this point, very limited demand but unlimited supply. I think the thing is that individuals that act like institutions, i.e. not retail individuals, are getting in now as an asset allocation play. And that, I think, is why you see such a run-up, is that you're having some really big buys.
What about you, JJ? Have you guys had to expand your offerings in the space at TD Ameritrade for retail investors?
Yeah, you know, Sarah, we don't have Bitcoin itself, but the products we do have, including Bitcoin futures, you know, we see 150% lift there. Some of the names like Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, we see 170% quarter-over-quarter growth. Then you have things like MSTR, which in August invested so much money in Bitcoin. Quarter over quarter, we see a 1,400% lift in the amount of trading and positions held there. So what's really interesting to me about Bitcoin, maybe more than any other product I've seen, is the fact of how many people become more interested as the price goes higher. I guess that makes sense, of course, but the amount of people we see that really have interest as it starts to starts at that 10,000, then over 20,000, we really saw a flood of people become much more interested in it than we had seen at any other time before this.
Alli, when you speak to your clients about Bitcoin, do you get a sense of what they want it in their portfolio for? Is it to go alongside their most risky bets like Tesla and Zoom, or is it something that they see as a potential hedge to equities and something that they want to buy in place of their bonds?
Yeah, I think to a certain extent it's been a moving target, right? The story of the first couple of years was that here was a store of value that was apolitical and could be a diversifier. And then you fast forward, and to my colleague's point, you see the numbers going up, which always gets people interested. You see the adoption in the form of Bloomberg Galaxy Index. Then you go to Fidelity being a custodian. Now you're at PayPal letting you buy and sell with it. So adoption's going up, price is going up, and the lack of available alternatives in the market in terms of being diversifiers, right? Bonds have largely gone out the window in terms of the relative risk return. So I think all three of those, and once you see the credentialing mechanisms of large pension funds and sovereign entities, which you've just seen major buying, which I think is what's taken this from sort of 25,000 up to where it was this weekend, you start to really get some credentialing mechanisms. And by the way, unlike a retail investor, the assumption there is that these aren't speculators. These are long-term buy and holds that can create some sort of substantive floor for the currency.
How does it correspond overall, JJ, with the mood and the appetite for taking on risk from retail investors right now, whether it's stocks, tech stocks in particular? How closely is it tied?
Well, I think the bigger thing for this that we really try and educate people on overall, Sarah, is the fact that it trades nonstop. It keeps going. As you know, Alli just got done talking about it, trading this weekend. I think that's a big sort of step for many people. What is interesting, and I think Alli brought up a good point there, is we also see a lot of our older skewed investors who want to be involved there. I think there's this sort of narrative out there that it's only young people who care about this. We've actually seen a very nice mix in terms of the ages that are attracted to the products that are related to Bitcoin, and I think that that's very important. So you do have people who are using it obviously speculatively, but you have people who have it as part of a core of their portfolio. Of course, maybe not as big a percentage as they're going to have in fixed income or things like that, but there are people who are now starting to add more to their portfolio, so it's starting to become more and more of an accepted asset base.
JJ and Alli, thank you both for joining us.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.